Tēnā koutou katoa, everyone, and welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions. I'm your lovely host, Mucky Hope. And oh my God, do we have such an amazing lineup of guests today. As always, there's a handsome man on my right. It's the legendary Stags Yarrow. How's it going, Stags?
It's going good. How's everybody else doing? If people are already here. Otherwise, how are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. But I'm doing amazing now because I've got one of the greatest people in human history here. Like, I'm always so jealous because of how just lovable and amazing this handsome young bloke is. Everyone, please welcome one of the hunks, Richard.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So good, brother. And how have you been?
I've been amazing. As you can see, the view's amazing. I'm happy, so I can't complain.
I know, I'm loving the views as well, brother. Yeah, now I've got something interesting to look at because Hamish's beard, it's a bit too ugly, you know? So I'm glad I've got nice scenery, nice background to stare off into. Yeah. But I'd love to ask you, Richard, what's been your thoughts on the season so far?
I don't think chaotic would fully describe how I feel about this season, because people that hated each other are working together, and people that are working together hate each other. So it's been such a chaotic thing. Even this buddy system is just pure chaos. But I'm enjoying the season.
Yeah. And as we got here from the lovely Gabe also joining us, Mucky, the merge bet prediction of Jesse was right. I know. Can you believe it? I was like, oh my gosh, I got something right for once. It's been an absolute wild ride. But Hamish, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, merge week is always a pretty exciting week of Survivor. Do you reckon this merge week held up to the excitement?
Well, so far in the game, up until this most recent week, a lot of our commentary has been that it's been about a lot of plays which haven't really worked, a lot of near misses. And I think that this week, you know, we finally are seeing people do stuff and what they intend to do is what happens, you know? For example, with Miles saving Paulie, which was crazy. I knew something wild would happen. I didn't think it would be that wild, and that was crazy to me. So yeah, I think it's cool. I guess it shows they're at merge for a reason. They're able to survive this long. So we've kind of filtered out the weaker players, and here we are now with players who are doing well. They've also probably warmed up from playing the 30 however many days up until this point. And so they're all kind of just in their game now, you know. So it's pretty good Survivor at this point, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Richard, you know, not to jump too far ahead, but I just love the conversation that Miles and AJ were having together after they played the advantage. And Miles was like, did I cook my own game? Yeah. Am I going to win? Probably not. But I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know? Isn't this what Survivor's all about? Just having fun?
Yeah, I definitely like the dynamic between the two of them. It's if I were to play Survivor, I'd love to have a relationship like that where there's AJ and there's a Miles, and we're both in sort of separate alliances, and we're giving each other intel, and we're telling each other about advantages, about who has what. And when you have the full map of who has an idol, who has what, you're able to make these spectacular moves that we've seen this week.
Yeah. And a very good comment here from Gabe as well. It was an easy merge vote TV move and actual strategic move. Yeah, because Hamish, when we watched the merge episode together, I was like, is that actually not that exciting compared to all the other episodes? And I realized why. It's because people were actually playing smart, and they were actually playing, and they were actually making the right. Yeah, they actually made a good choice for once. But I'm so used to you know what, with this path is for great success. This path is crazy chaotic, may not work.
Yeah,
let's go down this path. You know,
it was like if there were people controlling all of the players with an Xbox controller from home. Yeah. It's like at this point they finally turned on their monitor. You know,
no more button smashing.
Yeah, button smashing. Well, I mean, I guess speaking of button smashing, let's have a look at some of the early alliances, I guess, going into the merge vote, Richard. So obviously you got the Girls Gone Wild, which fully activated, and I think that which is covering massive majority. Is this the first? Is this the biggest all girls alliance we've had in Survivor history?
Most likely, yeah. Because the theme this season has been weirdly about girls working together. Firstly, it was the Witches Coven. Now it's Girls Gone Wide, and there's more majority girls in the graduate alliance as well, so it's chaotic. I love it.
Yeah. And Hamish, something so great actually about the Witches Coven is that it's almost like the Spider-Man meme, where everyone's like each other because everyone wants each other out, and they get so sick
Yeah.
of it, all the time as well. Have you been loving like the Witches Coven?
It's you know that moment where Logan was talking about speaking to AJ and how they were having this conversation, and both of them knew they were lying.
Bullshitting each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had scenarios in the past where I'm completely lying through my teeth to somebody, and I know they're doing the same, and we're just like pretending to like each other. And I feel like it's a similar scenario with the Coven where all these ladies working together, they each they've got their buddies or whatever. They don't necessarily want to work with one another. They want to get each other out, but at this particular point, it's better for them to get out other people, and so they're kind of working together by necessity. But as soon as one of them is the better option, they're going to go for it. So I guess it's just a matter of when that will be.
Yeah. And Richard, we do see that there's like a whole buddy system floating around as well, because we've got so many different duos leading to the merge. So you've obviously got Laura and Logan.
Yeah.
You've got Zarin, Karen and Zara.
Yeah.
Wait, I wrote it all down. Where is it? Miles and AJ, Kristen and PG. You've got Kate and Morgan, and sort of just Jesse, Paulie, and Kaylin. Like, who's not really any duos there, but Kaylin, I guess, is associated with Miles and AJ. And I just found it so fascinating because it's almost like per vote, like the duos are always changing in terms of
Swapping.
like whose other duos are working. It's almost like a voting block. Almost now.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of what happened in Millennials versus Gen X, where there was something called trust clusters, which is basically people who don't really trust each other, but they work with like each other to achieve a common goal, which is like voting someone they both don't like, or something that happened in Survivor USA Cambodia, where there was these groups of people just swapping round after round. But what makes this season more interesting is that there's just so many pairs. The only person who didn't have a partner was Paulie, I believe.
Yeah.
But like after that big move that Miles pulled off, now I think AJ, Miles, and Paulie are going to be a trio in a group of duos, which is insane. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen stuff like this happen with Blood versus Water, right? Where you've got like obviously a tight duo make merge, but then all the singles team up. Is it smarter for the duos just to stick together till they've completely annihilated a whole duo? Or do you reckon once you've taken out one member, you've got to keep rotating and flipping things around?
I think a good example of that is what happened with Paulie. Paulie was the only person without a duo, and people wanted to target him, and it didn't work because when you realize that, why target someone who's singular when there's a bunch of duos that you could try break up? And when your duo is broken up, then you're no longer a threat, which means you'll have more longevity in the game. So, depends on your thinking.
Yeah. And
I agree with that. I think that, Miles and AJ were able to see that Paulie could be used as a number, and by rescuing him, then they become stronger themselves because they've got this loyal number now. And, it would make sense to say, they get out person A of a duo and now person B is kind of on the back foot. What do? I have to save myself and kind of work with the majority if they're coming to, work with me. So, you can almost kind of like recruit people by getting rid of their buddy, depending on whose buddy you're getting rid of. Maybe not with Logan.
Yeah. Well, Hamish, actually, you bring up AJ, and he's a man of many things. He's a man of hostages, challenge throwing, strategic mastermind. But who would have thought AJ is such a Rizzler?
Bro, I don't know. So like there are three options, right? Either he's flirting so hard with Kate and she is unaware and she's just like, well, he's so nice. Option B is like he's flirting so hard with her and then she's like, oh yeah, nah, I'm into this dude, hell yeah. Or option C, he's flirting so hard and she's like, this is kind of weird, but it's good for my game, so I'm just gonna string him along, which I think would be crack up. But I mean, bro, he's just like, oh, you have such beautiful eyes. Like, he's going for it, bro. I have to give him respect because like I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I think he even said at one point as well, like, I just say you would be so good on like a dating app. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
what?
he did say
Why?
And he was just like, oh, like,
Yeah.
and like when we like, get to talk about these things because they get to look at your eyes longer.
Um,
Like, bro.
what I found
Yeah.
interesting was Karen being annoyed at the fact that like AJ is trying to smoosh everybody, and she's like,
Yeah.
AJ flirts like he's an AI ChatGPT robot,
Yeah.
and I'm like, she's
Yeah,
livid for some
yeah.
reason.
How
Yeah,
to be
she's
human.
like-
Yeah. Honestly, one moment that got me laughing so hard
Yeah.
was when Kate picked AJ for the cocktail reward challenge, and just the glare from
It
Karen when AJ gets
Oh.
picked. Oh my god, that's so funny. I mean, Hamish. I mean, we're both kinds of people where if you have an ick about someone, like they just really piss you off. Like how do you navigate someone where it's like you kind of have to work with them because they have numbers around them, but they just piss you off so much?
I think that I am pretty good at not voicing my thoughts
Same.
if there's not like a good reason to, like
Yeah.
it's like at work, right? Like if it's like a friend group or like a friend of yours, if they give you the ick, you just don't have to hang out with them. But if it's like in a workplace, right? Like, okay, it sucks that they frustrate you, but you kind of just have to suck it up and get on with it and like not cause a drama about it. And I feel like in this situation, it's kind of the same concept as like with a workplace, because you, until they're voted out, you can't not be around them. Like you kind of have to put up with it. So I would probably try to be as diplomatic as I could, even if not to work with them, just to like not be awkward, bro.
Yeah. We do have a couple comments here from Gabe that I do want to bring up. He got Kate and Morgan wanting to keep him, and it wasn't using AJ. They genuinely like him.
Yeah.
This is how good a social game is. Like, Richard, I don't know about you, but I was convinced AJ was like the merge boot, or he was like, one of the big players that goes early merge, right? But I don't see him going anytime soon. Like, how did he flip it around so well?
Oh, geez. You see, going back to that whole buddy system duels thing, I think out of all the duels that are going to be targeted, I think Kate and Morgan are the two duels that are unlikely to be targeted. But what's interesting about that is because of the flirting AJ was doing with Kate, that sort of makes this trio of Miles, what's his name, AJ, and Paulie to now be a fivesome. So I think those five are probably going to make it far because there's no drama between them, and they have the numbers to like sustain them long enough. So I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
And that's a good point too, because Kate and Morgan actually wanted to keep Paulie around.
Yeah.
As well, so they didn't want to vote him out. So
that's a strong majority then.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strong majority. Because you got like a challenge beast, you got two players who are just so social. And Kaylin, that sucks.
That's 6,
That's majority right there.
There's like 10 people left, so it's insane.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can I just make a slightly unrelated but also kind of related comment? Just an observation that I had while you guys were chatting. We're very Survivor vibes tonight. You're both wearing like Hawaiian, like island vibes. You've got like like palm tree shirt. You got floral shirt. You're like out on the islands, my bro.
Yeah. Love it.
If you had to be a Brawn or Brawn, Richard, which one would you choose?
Brawn, because like my guns aren't like big enough yet, so definitely.
Yeah, true. As for Michael, he'd be neither.
Yeah, I'd be like the verse. I'll be the verse tribe. Brain's versus tribe.
Like a double agent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would put Hamish on potentially the beauty tribe as well, but the only problem with that is that he like. Don't you agree, Richard? He's just not that beautiful.
Yeah,
his personality. Yeah, his personality is a bit whack. He's got no muscles.
So I'd also be on the verses.
Yeah,
but like there's beauty on the outside and the in. So if you have an amazing personality, you form part of the beauty tribe.
But what's so great about Stags Yarrow is that he doesn't have either.
Yeah, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'd be JLP. I'd just host it.
Yeah, exactly. Gabe says, prepare to see AJ longer unless Karen, who's obsessed with him, does something. Well, I mean, just before we do get into all that, let's quickly talk about Jesse here. Richard, I feel like Jesse also tries to do a smart move just by keeping the Brawn all together. It's almost similar to what
Yeah.
Paulie tried to do, where it's like, if we just last one, maybe 2 votes, the brains are going to implode on each other anyways.
Yeah.
We can sort of steamroll the majority, but everyone's just, they all want Jesse out.
I mean, I think just watching what was happening there was just too chaotic. Just looking at the dynamics between how much AJ and Logan have to work together, but they completely despise each other. Now, after that betrayal, now Karen also doesn't like AJ, but like AJ has a close relationship with what's her name? Karen's number one. So it makes the
Zara,
dynamic so confusing, but they sort of like have to work together, which is insane. But I mean, Jesse was just the casualty of that, which is like sad. But because I liked him, he's like a skater bro. So
exactly. Hamish, it was a bit concerning though, because AJ, he starts cooking up a plan. He's like, why take out Jesse when you can take out Paulie? And he almost does it. 1 vote away. 6-5.
Close, bro.
Yeah. I mean, did you like that AJ was playing so aggressively here in the first vote of the merge?
At that point in time, when I was watching that episode, I was like, bro, like you can work with good people. Like, don't be like this. But following that episode, like, by the end of this week that has just finished, as far as the episodes coming out goes, I would definitely say I've kind of switched allegiances. Like, I was very much on, and even before the end of the most recent episode, before we saw who was booted out, like I think I had kind of started to change my allegiances from like the whole kind of like Logan kind of vibes onto the kind of AJ Miles, conglomerate anyway. So yeah, I do like the way they played this week, and it was just fun. And while I think this has been a cool season of Survivor because it's been different, the fact that it's kind of becoming like a regular season of Survivor, it's like, okay, we've had weird, different, not exactly functional for long enough. Now I kind of want to see some real Survivor, and I think that's I think Miles, for example, is kind of giving us that. So yeah, it's I like what AJ's been up to.
Yeah. And we also hear from Gabe, I feel merge vote players want to keep a common target. Honeymoon phase, don't want to step on too many toes, keep everyone happy. Yeah, absolutely. Last recap wasn't him. He was Team Logan.
Yeah, I was, but I've kind of switched
sides or something.
Yeah,
with all due respect to Brogan, I feel like some of the outburst she had when she was like to AJ, like, you burned me and stuff, like, I was watching that and I was like, bro, far out. Like, I get your feelings, bro. Like, I honestly hear you, but also like you're just trying to paint a target on your back at this point. It's like, you kind of, like I said before, like sometimes you do just kind of have to keep it to yourself, and that is not what she did. So I think that kind of put me off of Logan as a player at that point.
Yeah. Well, if that outburst was bad, Richard, I can't wait to see the start of next episode. When everyone's turned on Logan, she's going to be like, what the hell? I would swear on this podcast, but probably not a good idea. But, what the F-bomb?
Thing is,
what the heck? What the oh my goodness?
Because like, if you look at it, she got like 6 votes in a group of like 10 people, right? So who's she gonna be mad at when like majority could just like vote for her again, and then like
mad at everyone? She's on a warpath now.
Rampage,
See, I was having this thought, right? Like, it's either gonna be like, you remember in season 2 when Mark was like, "Oh, you voted out my like babe, like now I'm gonna take everyone down," and then he goes out like in the next episode. It's either gonna be like that when Logan's like, "I'm gonna get revenge," and then they just vote her out, or because in the kind of like next time on Australian Survivor and stuff like that, and like Laura's exit interview, like it's kind of hinted, oh, maybe Logan's gonna go on this warpath and like take everyone down. So I feel like it's either gonna be like she goes out next, or she's just gonna like channel her fury and just like take all these people down and just like awaken, which would be kind of cool to see. But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, and we do see again, Mucky was right again. Logan became an early merge boot, perhaps. Yeah, Gabe, I was pretty scared, man. I'm on a bit of a hot streak here. Last season, I said Eileen and Jaden Richard were my winner picks.
Yeah.
They go up back to back. And then I said, I'm rooting for Alex to win. he goes out straight away after. How nuts is that? It's too unfair. And then the one time I tried to be strategic about it, it did not work, sadly. But anyways, I guess let's quickly move on.
Yeah.
Hamish, it's been set up to be a simple, easy vote on Paulie. He doesn't win the challenge. He doesn't have an idol. Let's give kumbaya. Let's all just dump on Paulie. And then Miles gets up, plays his advantage, and idles out PD.
When AJ was going to people on the tribe and being like, I reckon we just all dump on Paulie, I had suspicions that he was trying to make people vote in a certain way so that, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I had a theory that it just sounded too un-AJ. It sounded too because Paulie didn't have an idol. How did everyone know that he didn't know? How did AJ know that he didn't? I feel like AJ, if he genuinely thought, Paulie could have it, we have to be careful here, he would do a split vote.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what he was playing at. I also figured that Miles was going to use his advantage to take Logan's idol, which he didn't do.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I was definitely caught off guard. But yeah, I mean, I just think that was very well done. Like I said, I didn't predict that. So now, they did flush Logan's idol eventually in the next episode. So they've done that, and they've also they've taken Kristen's idol and used it. So the only idol in play, as far as, if I'm not wrong, is Miles's other idol now. So he basically got rid of 2 idols and got rid of 2 people that he didn't want to have, those obviously being Petey and Laura. So, I mean, they're playing fantastically, bro.
Yeah. Just on that, I was thinking that had Miles taken Logan's idol, number one, there's no certainty that she certainly has it, even though Miles got the information from AJ. So there's a chance that that plan could flop. But what was public knowledge was that Kristen does have an idol, so he took that. But my thinking is why would you take out PT when he's already injured, so he can't participate in the outplay part of the game? So even if he makes it to the end due to his good social game, do you think people would vote for him? So it was just an interesting move in terms of the vote nullifications. But taking out PT, was it really a big move? But who knows? They just love the chaos at this point.
Yeah, no, I was definitely thinking that too, especially because we see that Miles and Laura is trying to cook a plan together to blindside PD here and keep Paulie around. But Logan wants none of it. And this is where we see her really bossing people around, which I do kind of understand. As a Survivor fan, you want to get your plans out. And she's always been kind of sidelined by Laura and some of the plans, with want to get Rich out. She's been sidelined by Karen and Zara in the past. So this is her time to really make her mark in the game. So I understand that frustration. But still, when she started having that outburst she did, I was like, oh, man.
It doesn't help her.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And, there's been a lot of comparisons made to Shawnee Richard, between Logan and Shawnee. And I definitely see it now with those outbursts. Hamish, I know you haven't seen All Stars, but at one point, Shawnee got voted out in a non-elim, came back, and the next 3 people to go were the 3 people who orchestrated her to get voted out. Yeah.
No, Shawnee's cool. I do see a similarity. Obviously, we mentioned earlier in this season that people were making that comparison. And I do see it. Logan obviously has a very good social game, and she's just got funny things she says. What was it that other season when she's like, oh, XYZ is the stone, the pebble in my shoe that I just can't get out, and just all those those funny things like that. She's got a good sense of humor, and I find it funny not watching people be angry. I hate that, but seeing people be frustrated and voice their frustrations, just when people get upset over really insignificant things and just vent. I always find that flipping hilarious. She's definitely funny. I mean, Richard,
this whole week has been crazy for Logan. You know, she started it out idol in pocket, wearing the individual immunity necklace, you know, running the tribe with the Jesse vote. And by the end of the week, she's got no idol. Her closest ally is gone. She's on the bottom.
She's copped a few votes.
She's copped a few votes now. People are now onto her. What a ride. It's only been like 3 hours.
Yeah. But thing is, I feel like because Kaz or Karen told her to play the idol, maybe there might be a relationship there. Because obviously we know Kaz has a good relationship with what's the name of the old lady that's like the vice president of the PTA or something? Is it Zara?
Zara, yeah.
Yes, they have like a good relationship. So it's going to be interesting what happens from this point. But like I said, I feel like that 6-person alliance of like Kaylin, AJ, Miles, Morgan, and Kate, that's just too huge to beat, unfortunately, when there's like 10 people left in the game.
Yeah. And I guess a few comments here that I just realized I missed. I don't think Miles wanted easy vote again. He gave the brains ladies Jesse already. If he gave up Paul, he'd lose more options to help against the woman. PD doesn't upset too many ladies, plus Morgan Kate like Paulie and pushes them towards his side. That's a good point. That's actually a very good point. Especially if like you take out Logan, like at this point, maybe like Laura cooks up, you know, Kate and Morgan with her side and whatnot, they come towards you. But if you take up PD, no one's really tied to PD but Kristen. So at least that way, you know, you can still try and get Kate and Morgan onto your side. And the last one here, PD was take up a spot like Simon Black. He would have stayed longer for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Hamish, when you've got someone like a PD or a Simon Black, for example, someone who's like is clearly not going to win the game, but he's still there. Like, is it worth taking him out this early or trying to like use him as a number to go forward?
I think that when you're deciding who to vote out, there are two ways you can look at justifying the vote. One is whether voting somebody out is taking away a threat from the game.
Yeah.
The other is whether voting somebody out is going to weaken a threat in the game. And it could be said that Kristen now being alone and now being able to be a loyal number as somebody who seems to work off of loyalty, you know, it might be said that having Kristen not with her little buddy might actually be a good move. And so it may have been less about PD and more about Kristen.
Yeah. And we do have a lovely comment here. Brendan, welcome to live, man. Hi, Richard and acquaintances. Well, Richard's not here, Brendan. He's gone.
He will be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, he will. Sorry, his computer went flat, so he's just going to quickly charge it and come back. But yes, so PD goes out here in a crazy idle play, and Hamish, the backlash Miles and AJ got. Like, I kind of feel like, you know, like we play a lot of games together, right? Especially like the card game with bullshit. And something that I love about us is that we both know we're like, you know, let's just cook it up and just start lying about everything, you know, and stirring chaos.
Oh, totally. Bro, like when you and I play bullshit, it'll be like us two and then two others, maybe like my brother and his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And you'll play a card and I'll know you're lying because you'll say like, two tens, and I'll have all 4 of the tens, and I'll look at it and I'll look at you and I'll be like, yeah, that's 2 tens. And then like, you're doing the same thing with me. You know I'm lying. And we're just letting each other lie because like I don't care about calling you out. I want to mess with my brother and his girlfriend. And if you and I, if you have all the tens and I have all the jacks, and you and I just keep playing tens and jacks, and the other two don't know what's going on, and we're just having the time of our lives, like I love just like making the game ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, and
which
I always
Miles did.
Yeah, definitely. And I always love the backlash from it. It was like, can you guys just stop messing around? You know, that's exactly what happened with Miles and AJ. I actually
What's
love
crazy though is it was pretty much Miles's play, but AJ is the one who took most of the backlash.
Yeah, he still copped it. And it's like, he's guilty by association. It's like, well, you're always hanging around Miles, so you clearly knew that.
And the only person who was actually talking to Miles after it was Laura. Like Miles was just chilling on his own, and Laura comes up to him and he's like, see, that's why I didn't want to like, you know, mess with Logan, because I was scared of that. And like talking to Miles, AJ, the one who was just like associated with the play, he's getting like, oh, you have banned me.
Yeah. It's almost like those Family Guy clips with Meg where like someone else will do something. It's like, oh, it's all right. But you, Meg, you crossed the line. You know, it's like, Miles, what you did was dumb.
Or if
bloody hell,
anyone in the
AJ.
audience has seen the Big Liz show, like AJ was like Clarence, where he joins and they're like, "Oh, shut up, Clarence." Yeah.
We do have here from Gabe as well. AJ got a full fury of Logan, and it was Miles' move. Yeah, gosh, that was so funny to watch. Miles and Logan, I never see working together. That bridge is burned. Oh, 100%. 100%, bro.
That one clip, bro, where I can't remember if it's Miles or AJ, but it's one of them, and they're like, I'm pretty sure it's Miles, and he's like walking toward the well, and Logan's walking away from the well, and they like cross each other like this, and they don't even make eye contact, they don't even turn their heads, they just pretend they don't exist. Bro, so awkward.
Yeah. Also, Miles did get yelled at by Logan. He said Laura would get over it because she's logical. Yeah. Logan and Laura here, Hamish. Now, I will admit, I've been very critical on Laura's game a lot on this podcast, but I love her as a character. She's so entertaining, fun to watch. But I've got no complaints about how she played this merge portion of the game. I feel like she almost did everything right. She just didn't pick up that things were turning on her and Logan, which I feel like was more against Logan than Laura, but similar to AJ, just guilty by association.
Yeah, I mean, Laura was, very, she's loyal to a fault to Logan. And obviously that fault was getting herself booted out. But it was because the person she's so loyal to is somebody who is, paints big targets on herself. And, with all due respect to Logan, she has played for the most part a good game, I would say. She's done a good job at surviving the bottom when she's been on the bottom. She is very vocal. She draws a lot of attention to herself. She puts her opinions out there, which makes people kind of want to get rid of her. She's very particular about who she will and will not work with. Not unlike Noonan, who, by the way, is also voted out. So, and also not unlike Ursula. It kind of reminds of that conflict they had, right? Yeah. And so Laura is so loyal to this person. So, obviously one of the two of them, if not both of them, would be copping some votes. So I think, it was kind of in the same way that AJ is copping some heat by association to Miles right now after that move. I think that Laura was copping votes by association to Logan. I think that if Laura wasn't working with Logan, people wouldn't have tried it as hard to get rid of her.
Yeah. And, I guess something I just want to bring up real quick, up to this point, Paulie has been the one guy that everyone wants out. They call him, what is that? A snake oil salesman. He's like this dirty dog almost. You can never trust anything he says. It's all lies. But I don't understand where it's coming from, though, because when you take it from his context, he's been on the bottom. He's been trying to scrap, trying to survive the whole time. I guess the one time I could see it being like, oh, he was such a snake was when he was trying to rally everyone together when Ursula got voted out. Obviously, that was falling apart, and obviously the idea to blindside Karen could have only come from Paulie. That's the only time I can make it. But
it's probably a few things. Obviously, there's that. There's also the Chinese whispers of it, like, oh, Paulie did this, Paulie did what, Paulie did this, Paulie did that, and it kind of like, it gets exaggerated. I think also in such a paranoid game, especially at this merge, everyone is so paranoid, bro. It's like if one person is like, oh, Paulie's a snake oil salesman, and one person said that because they feel strongly that way, another person hears it and they're like, oh yeah, cool, now I know how I should feel about this guy. Now when they're repeating information about Paulie to others, Paulie's a snake oil salesman because that's what they were told, and now everyone believes that. Not everyone even probably knows why they believe that, but everyone now believes that. So it could be a bit of that kind of mass hysteria.
Yeah. And Gabe, I think you're absolutely spot on here. Players like villainizing people on the bottom to feel good and voting them out. Remember Nick from season 1. Yeah, that was rough. Not gonna lie, season 1 was the first season I was on and off watching. And even I was like, oh my God, I hate Nick. He's lying. He only ever said one lie, Hamish, and that one lie for the entire game. And I too, I don't have social media, so I wasn't like dogpiling hate on him or anything like that, like what a lot of fans are doing now. But when I rewatch, I'm like, oh my God, I love Nick. I love more of these villainous players and stuff. And I guess a lot of the casual audience, as well as, I guess.
Here's a theory. Just to throw a spanner in the works, right?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of conversations that aren't in the edit. We don't see a lot. Maybe Logan says at one point, oh, by the way, did you know I used to play badminton in school? Like, nobody knows that she used to play badminton because it's not on the edit. I just made that up, obviously, but anyway. So maybe Paulie actually sells snake oil.
That would be pretty crazy.
That would be pretty crazy. How do we know that he doesn't have his own side hustle where he goes around just Western Australia through the desert, just picking up flipping rattlesnakes and stuff, puts them in a bag, and then he just strips the oil from them. And then he told, hey, I've got this side hustle, and now no one wants to work with him.
And that's why he is a Brawn, because he's got 2 jobs going at the same time. He's an ammo driver
to harvest snakes.
Exactly. But here's the thing, for very serious injuries, right? Like that happens in the ambos, he uses the snake oil to help heal the blisters and everything, or the cuts, or
did you know that a lot of painkillers actually are made from snake venom?
That's pretty crazy.
I
had no idea. But it's snake venom, snake oil.
Shut up.
Well, no, I actually wanted to talk about it. So, because oil and venom kind of look similar-ish. Okay, not really. One's like...
they're
both liquids.
Ribena, right? The blackcurrant juice kind of looks like 91 lidded petrol.
Yeah.
Or unleaded, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So does that mean that we should drink petrol?
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, I'm glad we're on the same page. That we should use.
I have been drinking petrol. I haven't actually had water this week.
Yeah. No, I've been drinking a lot of petrol too. I feel like it saves a lot.
We're talking about the birds, right?
About the what?
Never mind.
The birds.
Petrol.
Oh, is it like the gull? Like the BP?
It's a seabird, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I've been actually grinding up petrols.
Yeah. Nice. I've been drinking those petrols that you've been.
That's my side hustle.
Yeah, awesome. I use snake oil to make my memes sing. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. You must have had a lack of snake oil lately, then, Brendan.
Yeah. What did Gabe say? Paulie has definitely improved his position now. Happy for him, even though he's not in Miles' long-term game. Yeah, absolutely. And Gabe, bring us back from the petrol talk. Current did a half mission of this vote, kicked Logan game, but didn't vote AJ out. Well, I guess let's quickly talk about that here, Hamish. So essentially, right, everyone's mad at Miles and AJ and Logan. She's slowly cooking up a plan. She wants to split vote between Miles and AJ, but I think she wants AJ gone, whereas Miles is just on the split. But somehow, AJ and Miles completely flip it against Logan and Laura. Miles is spreading around the news that Logan has an idol. Obviously, Kate and Morgan, as we discussed, love Paulie, love AJ. They're on their side, and it's already 6 against 5. With AJ, Miles, Kate, Morgan, Caitlin, Zara.
Obviously, earlier on, AJ had made a lot of enemies and had done things which made people kind of think, damn, what? But, post-merge, something has to be said for AJ's social game,
Yeah.
Let alone Miles, I suppose, but mostly AJ, and the fact that there was that Girls Gone Wild, right? Like Kate and Morgan wanted to work with Laura and Logan, right? But because AJ's boys with Kate and Morgan, mostly with Kate, now those 2 girls are just like, oh, hell yeah, let's vote out Laura and Logan, and the fact that he and Miles, but in the context of bringing people together, AJ has been able to string all of these people just from around the tribe together Logan and Laura, I used to think, damn, they were pretty threatening, and all of a sudden they're like the people that nobody wants to work with, simply because AJ has been able to string enough people who are friends with these people, to create the perfect alliance for this point in the game. Damn.
Yeah. And speaking of, oh damn, Brenda says, I lit my snake oil for this podcast, but it appears you didn't drink a Hamish. But do you know who did drink that snake's oil? It was the Hunks. Richard Hunks is back, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm back. Just needed to like charge my laptop quick. But I'm glad to see Brandon Australia memes is here in the chat. So lovely.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be here to advertise his memes.
Richard, it looks like you've got some very nicely oiled skin today. Is that snake oil?
It's snake oil.
Snake oil, yeah.
I'm the new Paulie. Yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about, snake oil and venom. I guess oil and venom look the same, and that was a black currant.
Okay, what did I get myself into? Yeah.
Well, we're also just talking about the move of Miles and AJ completely flipping everything onto Logan and Laura. And as Hamish perfectly points out, AJ's done such a good job stringing connections together, because obviously if he does a great job with Kate, Morgan immediately comes like with Kate, and obviously they've got the graduates with Lara. They do try pulling in Karen as well as part of the graduates. But Hamish, we've been saying for a long time, well, I've been saying for a long time, that Karen's playing almost like it's a simple game, but a good game, because you've got so many people playing so chaotically, but she's always been pretty straightforward and kept things together. But she's about to swing big.
Yeah.
And she's got to flip things onto AJ. Did you like what Karen was trying to pull here?
I think that there have been one or two times where I've been like, what are you up to, bro? I want to instill the fear of God into him. but
she's a psycho.
I think I am kind of starting to agree with you that like Karen, she's not being the biggest player. She's definitely smart and making, relevant moves with where everything's going. But she's also done a fantastic job. Like, has her name been written down once?
No.
I don't think so. Right? So, like, she's done a fantastic job to have an impact on the game, but to not be seen as a threat until this point. Yeah, I definitely am starting to come around on the idea of Karen. I still don't know whether that means she'll win. And like, if it came down to Karen and AJ on the stalls at the end, I'd be writing down AJ to win, not Karen, because she's done a great job of staying relevant, but not necessarily being the playmaker. But I think that if she starts being like, nah, here we go, it's my turn now, then she could actually be pretty bloody good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys would vote for AJ, because as the number one Karen simp here on the podcast, I would write down Karen's name anytime, any day to win that $500,000. But Richard, did you like that Karen was trying to swing massive here, sort of flush Logan's idol, but also take out AJ at the same time? Or do you think it was like a bit too early to pull him like this?
Yeah, so how I see it is like, I feel like for a typical Survivor player, right, you should probably spend majority of pre-merge trying to build social connections, and I think that's what Karen's been doing so far. And I think right now, with 10 people left in the game and the jury is about to start up, is the perfect time to start like playing the strategic game. It's almost like the perfect time to peak, because some people peak too early, like your Nash, and then they get voted out before they even make merge. So I think she's doing it at exactly the right time. Yeah.
And Hamish, I guess just jumping a little bit ahead, we do see at Tribal, Karen, she tells Logan to play the idol. And obviously Logan and Laura are freaking the hell out. Logan, she does end up playing it, but Karen still votes for Logan here. Did you like that she was trying to do like a double bluff almost?
Yeah, she definitely, she's dug her feet in, and she I mean, I think she's done a great job to make statements, and it's interesting as well. Like, imagine Logan didn't play Idol when she goes out. Laura would be like, assuming she doesn't know that it was Karen who voted for Logan as well, she'd be like, damn, like, you try to save her, I'm so loyal to you now. So there's that. It's also interesting, the way when Laura was like looking over it, at Zara, like, did you vote for Logan and stuff? Obviously, before Laura ended up getting voted out.
Stone faced, yeah.
It was like, that was such a moment of like, any chance they would work together is gone. Like Laura, obviously Laura's voted out now, but like she was cut. Like just the way that Zara just like, it was like, no, I'm not gonna look at her stuff. Like I can't lie about this right now. Yeah. It's, and you know, I'm sure that Logan must have seen that to an extent as well. So Logan, bro, if she tries to work with Zara, nah, bro. I like, okay, this is my hope. Even though I said I switched allegiances to like AJ and stuff, just for Logan's sake, I want Zara to go next, bro. I think the best vengeance, the best whatever the word I'm looking for it is, but the best vengeance there would be for Logan to orchestrate a Zara boot. I need that for my own closure.
Yeah, well, Richard, you know, I guess all episode, well, I guess leading up to Tribal, we see that Karen chats to Kristen about voting for AJ with this idol minority split as well. But Kristen doesn't even vote for AJ at this point either. Like, were you shocked that Kristen didn't vote for AJ?
Yeah, I think it's confusing because I'm assuming the editors didn't show us some bits of the details, because I think initially in a confessional, Kaz or Karen had told us that he'd want what is it, Logan, Laura, herself, and Kristen to vote for AJ, I believe, and AJ was supposed to go home. But like they didn't vote, both of them didn't vote for. So like, what was the intention? Is it a move gone wrong, or like that was the intention to rather put the blame on AJ and Miles that Lauren is gone home? But like, it's also confusing because how is Karen expecting Logan to come to her side when she bloody wrote her name as well? So it's like, it's confusing, but I'm assuming the editors had something from us.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I do have some crucial information to share. So on Twitter, I'm just reading it now, Miles made a post saying an explanation of the split, which he thinks really cool, that he was actually sus of Karen and Kristen flipping. So he put them on the big side with a 5-4. The only way for them to make it work is for both of them to flip to AJ and play the idol on Laura. However, then he jumped over to the Logan vote, because I think it was originally Laura, but then he jumped over to the Logan. That's why there were 6 votes for Logan instead of 5. And then Karen came in and said, piping in, she thought it was a 5-4-2 Logan, Laura, AJ split. So she needed to flip hers and, you know, or Kristen and another to come up with AJ. Or idol Laura, lots of convincing required, 4 re-votes, too risky, can't predict where just was settles. And so she kind of just backed out of that because she didn't want to yellow it so early on into the merge. And also she did tell me as well that she did want Laura gone because she had too many inroads with the likes of Miles, Kate.
Exactly.
Morgan. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But it's just so much chaos. There's just so much going on, Richard. I can't keep up with it.
We need like side information to like get the full picture. Otherwise, it's just chaos to the players and chaos to us, the viewers, because we don't know what's going on. Like, I can't predict who's going home the next episode.
Yeah.
There was a lot of thought and a lot of maths and a lot of like, if this happens, then this, we do this. If this happens, then I do this kind of like a lot to keep up with for that one. But that's, you know, it was definitely thought through and very well strategized.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost need JLP almost right before each tribal to like just bring out a whiteboard and be like, okay, so this is what's going on. Here's this alliance. This alliance voting for that, but this alliance thinking for that, and that alliance is thinking of voting for this, but they're actually going to be doing. Oh my god!
I don't think
we need
make
to have
sense
like
either because it's too
in the
confusing.
middle of a tribal or like right before the votes are read out. It needs to be like paused on that screen, and it's a green screen, and then JLP walks in front of it with a whiteboard, and he's like, "Okay, so in case you missed all of this, this guy is doing this and this plan, you know."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it was so good. And we do see a few comments here that I do want to read out. The editor is focusing on the drama. We aren't seeing the social game. I 100% agree there, Brendan. Karen, I reckon, is playing a phenomenal social game, as was Petey and Kristen with the public idol, but we aren't seeing any of it. Yeah, it's very interesting, Richard, because something Australian Survivor does do really well is that it does definitely show, like it shows Shawnee and Logan. I feel like it's really highlighted their social games, how they're twisting the relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more of these smaller players, almost like Karen. I don't think Karen's a small player. I think she's about to become a massive player. But we don't see a lot of their social game. It's more so you see, okay, it's the part of this group, but then
Exactly.
no one ends up targeting them.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting that like I feel like Morgan is the person that has the most purple edit in terms of her strategy, social game. The only person we really see a bond with is Kate. But outside of that, I don't know what she's done strategically, what votes she's been pushing. I know nothing about her. And you could say the same about Kristen to a certain degree and PD as well. But I think with PD, you could tell that people liked him because he's older, he's funny, he contributes in challenges, he's more respected. But the others, like there's too many purple edits for me. But obviously, when you have people like AJ and Miles who are super chaotic, they're going to steal the airtime. So inevitable. Yeah.
I think my favorite PD moment, it's actually the only PD moment I can pretty much remember, is with the football challenge. He's like, look, guys, I'm a soccer coach. I can do this. And he misses every shot.
And Miles is just...
Yeah, exactly. Do you reckon they should put Miles onto the Australian team for the World Cup next year?
He could win them one.
Yeah, he could. Has Australia won a FIFA World Cup?
I have no idea.
Yeah, well,
I'm not Australian.
I'm gonna say
no. Yeah, true. Like, who likes an Aussie win? To be honest, we don't like it when Aussies win. So,
especially with rugby, but that doesn't happen very often. So can't complain.
Yeah.
No. Well, we do have to be a little bit careful with Richard here, though, because you bloody
four-time winner.
Oh, no, bro. Yeah. Definitely. Like, the Springboks, my G, like, I always get a little spooked watching the All-Blacks play the Springboks. You guys just like to kick it to the other side of the field over and over and over.
Yeah.
Plus our substitutions were intimidating. Like, everything is perfect about their team, literally.
Yeah. I remember my first, All Black South Africa game I watched was 2013. Yeah. And I was like, why are these guys super buff? This is like they're wearing the American football outfit.
It's because they eat stuff on zebras for breakfast, bro.
True. True. There we go. Something from Brendan. Australia's never made it to the quarterfinals of a World Cup before. Oh my god, absolutely useless. They do need Miles on their team then to even have a slither of a chance.
They need you on the team, Brendan.
I reckon Brendan would actually make a pretty good commentator on the game. It's like, all right, this person's passable to this person. I'll try and make a meme out of it.
And he runs marathons too, which is insane.
True, but he never stated which place he came in the marathons. I've seen some stuff where he runs in marathons, but a week later, it's when he shows up. It's like, all right, I finished.
Recovery.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to bring this snake oil for them.
That way, when they try to kind of block you, you just slip through them because you're so oily.
Exactly.
And then when they try to follow you, the trail of oil you leave on the ground, they slip on it. Yeah. It's like the real cartoon slipping on a banana peel. You're just chucking down jars of oil.
Oh gosh. I just can't get out my head. Just Brendan, just with those bottles of oil, just
fucking in Mario Kart when you let all the oil out of the back of your car to make the other carts spin off.
Slippery. Yeah.
He's just chucking it behind him.
Oh gosh, but Hamish, I know that Laura has been your girl since the start, and Laura unfortunately does get blindsided here. What's your thoughts on Laura's game?
I'm not going to say that Laura's been my girl. She's definitely been somebody I have liked her play, and I feel that I obviously you've been quite critical of her up until merge. I think it can be said for really anyone post merge that they have played well. They have to have played well to get to post merge, unless everyone else was just playing that bad. Which might be the case on this season, but I think she has played a good game. It's not been the best game of all, and I suppose if it was, she wouldn't have been voted out. But I like Laura. I think that she seems like she'd be a cool person to work with. She seems like she tries to be rational, not too overly dramatic or anything. you know, it was pretty sad seeing her go. I think like I was hoping she'd get further. She definitely seemed butthurt about getting voted out. And I mean, I suppose I see it since, you know, she was blindsided. But, you know, if I was blindsided, I hope I would be more like understanding and more like, oh, well done, guys, as opposed to like, oh, okay, guys. Well, I don't know what she said, but you know, like I think as somebody who was genuinely following her game, that you know, it's you know, I'll salute the bro.
Yeah. Well, Richard, it was quite funny. There was a scene where, you know, Laura's just going to have a chat with Miles, you know, to see if there's anything suspicious coming up, and it starts playing her theme song, right? This sort of witchy, spiritual kind of song, and I was like, oh no, she's gonna read Miles. No, he's lying. No, there's something in the tables. But then she's like, Miles is 100% telling the truth. I trust him. It's like, oh no,
that was pretty
it's like
funny.
BS.
Yeah, that was so funny.
You know how, like, in the first episode or two, she was like, you know, I'm reading people's auras and stuff, and like, you know, I will spend talking to the bro for a bit now because, like, you know, I believe in that stuff too. But like, I just find it so funny. She's like, you know, like, I know that I can tell when Miles is lying, and I'm like, oh, here she goes, and then she's just like, Miles is being 100% honest with me.
Honest.
I'm like, okay, bro, sucks to suck.
That's so funny. And, you know, a comment here from Gabe. It was hard being part of this Covenant Alliance where all the women wanted it their way. I mean, Richard, how great is this Covenant Alliance, right? Like there's been like a civil war this entire time from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know, the first vote they took out Indy, who tried to flip on them, and they did everything.
She was a mess. Yeah.
If you think about it, because Indy, like, I wouldn't even consider a part of the Coven. Like, she kind of tried to enter and then got voted out. But the Coven, if I'm remembering correctly, is the longest lasting, or, you know, it was the first alliance that was in the game, right?
From the jump.
And only now, like, the second boot after merge, finally one of the Coven members is gone. Like, all of the Coven members lasted this long. It's pretty wild to think that Laura was the first one voted out of the Coven. I would have expected it. Oh, no, there was Ellie. Okay, never mind.
To be anyone else,
Okay. But, you know, I would have thought that Zara would go out before Laura, so that's crazy.
Yeah. No, and
the vote that happened in the previous episode, personally, I was even blindsided. I did not expect that Lauren was going to be the one going home. I thought maybe AJ could. But like that whole vote split was like pretty confusing, but I guess it adds on to the shock value of the whole thing. But going back to like the Witches Coven, I just feel like making an alliance with all girls just because they're girls isn't the smartest way to play Survivor. I feel like someone's personality, their game style should factor in. But if you're just saying like, I'm a girl, you're a girl, let's be in an alliance, there's going to be bound like some like betrayal or breaking up to happen at some point. Yeah.
Well, Richard, do you know whose fault it is? It's Parvati's fault. It's Parvati, Siri, Amanda, Natalie, Alexis, all their fault. Bloody Siri, I'm telling you. You know, like the one time an All Girls Alliance has worked out, the Black Widow Brigade, and now since
the last time.
It was the first and last time. It's never gonna happen again.
I mean,
like, imagine if Michael came up to you and he was like, "You're a dude. I'm a dude. We should have a boys' alliance, right?" And like the you know, perfect flaw of that plan is that you'd be working with Michael. You know? So
it's bound to go haywire.
Yeah, I'd be like, Richard, you're a boy, I'm a boy. Why don't we turn this and become the men?
Yeah.
It's like lazy gameplay.
You know in Yu-Gi-Oh! When it's like you've got like the arms and the legs of Exodia and stuff, and you have to get the cards together. That's just like the three of us, like us three boys, we become man.
Yeah,
it's so silly.
That's our alliance name. Yo, I think if we're in Survivor, we just found our alliance, bro. We are man.
Man.
I love this comment. Tom would like that alliance. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just for some context, Hamish, Tom, who we used to podcast with on Now Fight Take.
Yeah.
Really harsh and critical on all the female players. Just endlessly.
Holy man.
Only men.
That's not
fair.
But
I will give him some credit for Survivor UK game, where all this started. V and I were the original ones that said we liked Lee, but somehow Tom copped all the hate for being the only guy who loved Lee and was anti. But anyways, that does slowly bring us to the tail end of our podcast. But just while we're all here, let's quickly check out all these amazing players in the game. Can you guys see my screen here?
Nah, bro.
No? Okay, awesome. As long as Richard
Now we do.
then I don't care about Hamish. But unfortunately, we say goodbye to Mad Dog Jesse, the pro skater, recorder player. If you haven't already, go to our Instagram, Mucky Hope Productions, to see my sad tribute to Jesse. Hamish can even attire to this. We woke up just before dawn, climbed up the nearest mountain, and I played off into the sunrise. It was a really...
Oh, he was recording. That's insane.
Yeah, Hamish was recording. I always drag Hamish into all my antics.
Yeah. I crashed on the bro's couch, and then the next morning we woke up at 6:20. We're out the door by 6:30. Yeah. Went up Mount Eden. Yeah, it was good.
Beautiful sunrise.
It was amazing recorder playing. Like, I got tearful. I was just like, this is really, really deep. Michael.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You kind of expect recorder to just be the instrument you learn when you're like 5 years old because you have to do something in school. But Michael has this way of making the recorder sound like a whole orchestra. So I really recommend watching Michael's really moving, really fantastic recorder
performance.
Yeah. But Richard, I'd love to hear what's been your thoughts on we've been up the mountain as boys and we came down.
Yo, bro. Yo.
Oh my god. Better than the Eileen one, Mucky. I think the Eileen one was a lot funnier because it was literally like 11:30 p.m. I live in just a one.
A love song.
Yeah, it was a love song. I was literally pouring my heart out into it. But with this one, we climbed up the mountain, and while there were some people at the top, there wasn't a lot around us to really hear the true beauty. But
I guess with Eileen, right, like you were kind of like, it was this heat of the moment. There was all this passion. Like this one is a little more like pre-recorded. There's not the same energy, but definitely worth it. I would watch again. What happened on that mountain? You can go watch, my bro.
That was boys came to
Go watch on Mucky Hope Productions Instagram, and if you're not already following, then
it's good.
Then you are failing at life.
Yeah, and my memes are rivaling Brendan's at 51 followers to like 30k. So we're getting there. It's
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, but your memes aren't good, Michael.
Okay, you know what, Richard? We're just doing the podcast together.
Just kicked him out.
Yeah. All right, but Richard, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Jesse as a whole.
I love the dude. His personality, his orange beard, his tattoos, #Hunks Alliance. He's an absolutely amazing dude. Even when I watched his Instagram, the dude plays a recorder while skating, which is insane. I don't think I could do that. Yeah, lovely bloke.
He's literally one up to me. I aspire to be just like Jesse. And that's playing a recorder. I mean, like, I liked Jesse. He seems like the standard, like, alpha male type player.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rallying people together. I do feel really bad for him because obviously Ben had quit just before the merge as well. Ben would have been a great ally for him. And PD just woke up and started playing as well, which obviously that was a massive shot to everyone. So I really do feel bad for Jesse and Paulie here in this spot.
That's
how about
sad.
you, Hamish? Any final thoughts on Jesse?
I think that he was a social guy. I can't imagine it would be that hard to get along with him. He had thoughts about strategy. I think it made sense to boot him. He was like you say, like alpha is probably a word that you could use. He would kind of direct energy around him. He was a very heard voice. So I think he was a cool enough player. I also was for the Jesse vote. I think it made sense.
Yeah, it did.
Just a couple of comments here. Jesse looks like he's built to play for the Springboks. And Jesse, unfortunately, was part of the Purple Brawn tribe. Didn't get that much. Yeah, absolutely. That once Nash win was just Pauline Noonan, who pretty much only had screen time. It was like, I was looking at some of the confessional charts. Like, Nash got like 14 confessionals or something like that on his final episode.
Uh-uh.
It's like 10 or
That's
14
wild.
in the double digits. Crazy. But the next player to go was the unfortunate PD. Where is he? We thought he was pre-merge.
Oh, man.
Almost was. Almost was pre-merge with a medical evacuation. But, I liked PD. I thought he was all right. We saw most of him in the first episode where it seemed like he was willing to play. He wanted to flush Nash's idol and stuff. He was willing to play with Nash and Zen as well. But I just think very similar to a lot of people in the Brawn tribe, he just got purpled. And there's just nothing really to show of him. Have you got any thoughts on PD, Hamish?
Yeah, like PD obviously seemed for a while like the kind of, like older dude who just kind of plays by his morals, just kind of, sometimes the players don't seem like they've watched a lot of Survivor. It kind of made me think of that, but you're right. Like he did kind of wake up and start playing later on. I think it sucks that he had his injury. I hope he's well recovered now.
Oh man.
And I have nothing bad to say about PD. Like I didn't think he was ever going to be the winner, but I mean, good on him.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, personally, what I liked about PT was that, like, if you look at how that injury happened between him and Kalen, where I think he tore his like bicep or something, like the fact that he went out of his way to like assure Kalen that like everything is okay, like that whole forward to forehead sort of like Eskimo kiss, like it's just like it really tells you how much of a good person he is. Because other people have been like, man, that you ruined my game, you ruined my chance at winning the money, but like PD is literally a good bloke. No evil intentions, just a good guy. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
it's like with the pulley getting whacked in the head by the torch. Like, was he as all goods about it?
Oh yeah.
not to dog on Pulley. I don't want to direct hate Pulley's way, but obviously PD, you're right, was very reassuring to Kalen.
It would have been really funny if like Paulie was chatting to PD. He's like, "Oh my god, the torch hit my head. This is the worst thing ever." And PD's just in this thing, like, yeah.
Imagine if Pulley got medically evacuated from that. Like the torch thing was just a bit harder. It's like, so while we're on the way to travel, Pulley has been medically evacuated. You can grab your torches, go back to the camp. Like,
that would have been so rough. And the last player to get eliminated here is poor Laura. And we've already spoken quite a bit about Laura. I loved Laura's game. While it's very critical of a few moments of her game, like I think she was the reason that the Witches Coven started to crack. I think what is it, the whole Laura and Zara debate regarding that non-elim advantage. Like Laura was going to leave Zara, but Laura won the social game there where she convinced everyone that Zara's the bad guy there. So obviously Laura did a great job with that. But overall, just a really fun character. I loved what she was pulling throughout the game and stuff like that, and all the different webs of alliances she had going. I always really enjoyed seeing her play in this game.
Yeah,
how about you, Richard?
She seemed like a very likable person.
Yeah, 100%. And how about you, Richard? Any final closing remarks on Laura?
Yeah, she's an absolute player. I like that she invested a lot in the social game at the start, and then after the social game, she built on alliances, became strategic. But I think maybe a flaw could have been the whole Richard, what's it called? Meat Shield, where she was convincing everyone in Alliance to not vote for Rich. I think if she comes again to play a second time, if she could change that one aspect about it, I think she'd make it much further. But totally decent game, social game good, strategic game good, physical game not that good, but I can't have it all.
I mean, it's Australian Survivor. It's either you're a pro athlete or you're
brutal.
Right? Yeah. There's no in between. How about you, Hamish? Any closing remarks on Laura?
You know what? I'm gonna take a leaf from your book, Michael.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, here we go. Oh, he's got the guitar.
I don't know if you can hear this through my microphone.
I can.
I'll try.
Yeah.
All right. Laura, you're not in the game anymore. It sucks. And I'm not a hater, but we'll see you later. All right.
Wow.
Hey. Great job, Hamish. Great job.
Top class.
Yo, dude, I'm a freestyle rapper.
Freestyle rapper. Freestyle Stags Yarrow. Oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
I reckon we got to cook up a band together, Hamish, with my recorder.
Yo.
At this point.
Yeah.
Mucky
How
Her
about you,
Productions, Yarrow. Beat
Mucky Her-
Richard Hunks, the Hunks Alliance.
Yeah.
King Man.
The Mike Hunts row. The Mike Hunts row.
Don't say that slow. In fact, move on.
Chaotic word for chaotic duo or trio at this point.
Exactly. Beautiful Hamish. That brought me to tears. Yeah, it brought all of us to tears, Hamish. Great job, man. Great job.
Thank you, guys.
But we do have a comment here from Gate. Mucky's choice of Morgan as winner. Still put about that? No, she's not winning this game, man. I actually talked about this on the my power rankings podcast I did, which I'll probably quickly bring that bad boy up. Give me 1 hot second.
I have a feeling. Let's say Logan can kind of, make some movements now. Like if she can enact her kind of revenge, I have a feeling that instead of going for AJ, like if it's too hard, she might try to vote out Kate as a way to weaken him. But if something like that doesn't happen, I can see Kara as winning as per your thing here, to be fair. But I can also see as the final two, I could see it as Miles and Kate as the final two.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And that'll be a good final two as well. Kate's playing a really good social
she is
game.
Yeah. I'm on board with both of them. I think they're both playing great.
Yeah, and as you guys can see with the predictions, I did move Morgan down from winner to late merge. And something that I did sort of talk about was I kind of feel like Morgan is potentially going to be set up as like the non-elim person. So you vote someone out to go to
he comes back.
Well, either she comes back or it's like, oh shit, someone's going to have to go up against an Olympian. Right?
Yeah.
And sort of like, oh, here comes Goliath, and it's like Morgan and stuff.
The hype, yeah.
Yeah, we saw it with like Simon Black as well, right? It was like, oh shit, he's like an AFL. Is he an AFL legend? I think he is. It's like, who's going to go up against him, I think. But yeah, I feel pretty strongly about Karen winning. I know we put Miles as a runner-up. That's only because we thought maybe it's a final three. Maybe he wouldn't get the respect from the jury, especially if he's playing just wildly and out there. Like I could see Logan not voting for him to win. Obviously the PD and Jesse are out of it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was actually a lot of people, maybe like Kristen Logan probably wouldn't vote for him to win. Maybe Morgan as well. But I can see like everyone else throwing a vote for him to win. Hamish, how do you like the setup that we got here with the predictions?
Yeah, like I can see Karen up there. Like I say, I can also see Miles and Kate as the final two. I can see why you'd put Kalen up there. Like he's playing low enough. He's like I don't think anyone here is a GOAT, but I think he is one of the closer. I'd say like Kalen and Kristen are closer out of all these people here to possibly being a GOAT. Obviously, PD's already been voted out. Logan, like that's the thing. Like she either goes out very soon now because she's alone and then people are going to pile on her, or it could be another Paulie situation where it's like too easy to vote out and then people want to use her, and then that's how they kind of like enact her revenge. Zara, I think that Zara has done well to be on the right side of the votes, but I don't necessarily think she's anyone's top player.
I doubt that.
Yeah, and for Paulie, I agree. For late merge, I think he's going to be strung along till late merge, and then the bros are going to be like, all right, see you later, bro. So, for the most part, I agree with that. I wouldn't change much.
A couple of comments here I'd like to read out. Logan might need a ninja run now, or Karen has to make a move against AJ soon. Karen has to make a move while she's got numbers for AJ. And I do think that's what next episode's going to be. We do see that people are starting, obviously we saw from the tweet, they already started sussing out that Karen might try to pull the flip. I reckon next episode is Karen versus AJ, which Richard, who do you reckon's going to take it, Karen or AJ?
Karen or AJ? I feel like AJ potentially, because I feel like he's got like more moves in his like arsenal than Karen has so far, because Karen is only peaking just now. But I feel like there's a lot of players who, in my opinion, don't have the best edit, but like could like win the whole thing. Like Kaylin is playing a good strategic game and a physical game. And then I also look at someone like Zara. who can rub off people the wrong way, but she's been on the right side of a lot of the vote from the jump. Who else am I underestimating? Like Kate. Kate could also win, but like she's not getting like too much of an edit at this point. So yeah, those are the dark horses for me.
Yeah, no, Caden's a good one too because he won 2 immunities
Exactly.
back to back, and clearly could have done those challenges a lot longer too. Like Hamish, we've talked about during the last gasp at some point. It seems like a challenge is up our alley, but I don't think there's any way we could defeat a Kaylin.
I think that Kaylin not winning the immunity has to be from, an endurance thing for sure. Not unlike the water one, which he won, but an endurance one where it's not necessarily, like that one where they had to pull the thing down and hold it there. If it's an endurance one, it's not like that. If it's something like, stand on this thin thing for 40 minutes, you know what I mean? Like
5 hours. Yeah.
Something like that. I think Kaylin, if it's a challenge which doesn't necessarily test how much he's worked his muscles, then it could be that one of the girls, if it's like a very like flexibility type thing, if it's like they need to have like good core strength and like be, you know what I mean, like something like
he might lose.
When Logan was talking about the Pilates vibes, if it's something like that, I think one of the girls could possibly take it out. Morgan could take it out. You know what I mean? She is an Olympian. She's obviously strong. And then that could be, maybe a day where Kaylin gets out. I don't know, but he's definitely threatening in that way.
Yeah. Paulie's also been decent if you look at him in challenges. Like Paulie's really good, so it could happen.
And Gabe here, my top winner picks right now are Karen and Kaylin. I definitely agree with the Karen pick. Not sure about Kaylin. And now that jury started, high chance these players vote emotionally, I feel, this season. Yeah, man. Like, I feel like the Kumbaya phase is now over. Now it goes like in really dirty, really massive again. But unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of our podcast. Richard, you are such a legend for coming on, bro. I've loved every second of you being on here. Tell us, where can people find you?
Mostly on Instagram, Richard _KOBELI, and then on Twitter, I'm Richard Kasparov.
Yeah. Awesome. Has there been any more news on Survivor South Africa on a potential renewal or return or anything, or it's still pretty quiet?
Still nothing at this point, but all I've heard is maybe something could come up in the last end of the third quarter, so somewhere around July, or we could hear news, but so far nothing's been confirmed yet.
Is that because Rob is going to single-handedly save Survivor South Africa by winning Australia versus the world?
Not sure if you know, I don't really like that dude, so if he came out as first boot, I'd be the happiest person, and it's got nothing to do with like me being a Survivor SA player. I just don't want that guy to make it too far.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were a massive fan of Rob, bro. I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know what
not at all.
I mean, I get it. Like, I'm a Kiwi. Michael's a Kiwi. If Michael was on Survivor, I wouldn't want him.
I wouldn't.
Because he's a Kiwi.
Yeah. No ways.
Yeah. And how about you, Hamish? A comment here from Brendan, who adores Rob as well, by the way. Rob for president of the world, 100%. We need him running. We need him in King Charles' position. Yeah, we need him to be. Anyways, Hamish, anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, if you want to check out just me and what I'm up to, obviously here, Stags Yarrow. You just search it on Instagram, you'll find me.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out my music, it's under the same name, so on Spotify and Apple Music, all the usual. If you want to hear my music, send me a message if you want. Stags Yarrow.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
And if you're new to the channel, use banners to summarize your talk. No, I'm kidding. Subscribe now. It's got a winky face on it, Hamish. And as you know,
that's crazy. It has a winky face. Is that because on this channel there is exclusive cheeky and naughty time?
Yeah, Richard. Like, are you going to be a part of our cheeky naughty times?
Oh, dude,
I mean,
maybe some of the viewers aren't aware that, we have very cheeky, exclusive naughty time available on this channel.
So subscribe to find out.
Subscribe, turn on the bell button if you would like to see Mucky Hope put on some cheeky and
Snake
naughty
oil.
Tongues.
to give an experience, a once in a lifetime experience.
Once in a lifetime experience.
Exclusive.
100%. Exactly. Essentially,
Snake oily.
exclusive.
Yo, get the snake oil out, my G.
Snake oil, man. Like, recorder, guitar, all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button and let us know down in the comments who's your winner pick this early on in the merge. We're devastated to see the players go the way they did. But until then, I'm your host, Mucky Hope. Kakita Anoa. Sorry, one last one. What will Mucky do a snake oil to record next week?
Yo, bro.
You should.
Imagine after promoting the
Let's
cheeky naughty time so much, we get like taken to court for like false advertising because we don't actually have cheeky naughty time.
Yeah, like a copyright. Insane.
Copyrighting cheeky naughty times. I'm so sorry, everyone. But until next time, for some more cheeky naughty content with snake oil, Kakita Anoa, and I'll catch you all in the
Thanks,
next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.